Okay, so we're starting the award ceremony not with what actually happened. This is a review of the flag ceremony the opening night when the people came in so proud to be carrying their national flag. And these are, 11 handicappers, 20 handicappers, nothing like it in the world. This is what the Olympic Games should have been or should be.
Yeah, and it's people that probably never really envisioned carrying their country's flag. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely not, I'm sure. I mean, they just happened to get lucky or have a good couple of days and win their national championship.
This has been going on for quite some time, though. This isn't the first year. I know it's the first year you played in it, but this isn't the first year of the World Golfers Championship.
This is actually the 15th anniversary of this event. And they're just showing some of the tables. There's the guys from Switzerland and the ladies from Switzerland. They're all over the world. There's the American team right there. And let's talk about them for a second just to say hi to them. Michael Graves was the 0 to 5 handicapper, and myself the 6 to 10. Mike Vandiver was the 11 to 15. He's part of Razor Golf Company. Great guy. And his wife was there. They were the only husband and wife group from America that was there. And Tony Ott was the 16 to 20 guy. And that's Niles Nord, by the way, who was the administrator of the event. And the 21 to 25 guy for us was Frank McInerney.
Nice looking trophies, and speaking of nice looking, who are these ladies?
Well, they were imported from Tunisia for a little entertainment on the awards ceremony night, and one of my cameramen became rather enamored of this young lady. They were wonderful, actually. The music was fantastic, and it was fascinating to watch them with them actual lit candles on top of their heads.
You were actually looking at the candles?
Yeah, there were candles up there. Well, you can't always tell, but there were candles up there.
How was the mixing? Everybody seemed to try to get to know each other from all the different parts of this world?
That's an interesting question. In the beginning, I think not so much. People kind of tended to be on their own team table and that kind of thing. But as the week went on, oh my God, everybody wanted to be part of something, and to meet somebody else. And people would sit with other people. Now, right there is the Princess of Sweden and the fellow who started the tournament, Sven Tumba, in the blue jacket, and another Princess of Sweden on his other side. So they were the royalty at the event, and because he's Swedish, they showed up and came. And they competed actually in the invitational part of this, where the person who is in charge of their country gets to invite a partner, and they play together an invitational element, and they get prizes as well.
Looks like some nice trophies that they're giving.
They're wonderful little trophies. These are the third place winners in the various individual categories. We'll talk a little bit later in the second part of this about the individual winners and the team winners and that kind of thing. But right now they're just presenting trophies to the third place finishers. And so this is somebody from the 16 to 20 group getting a trophy in Marbella, Spain to take home. And he's from the Czech Republic, and it's like, oh my God.
So he could go back home and play with his friends and shoot a 96, and it doesn't matter because he gets to tell people he just won a worldwide golf tournament.
Well, he finished third.
Right.
Yeah. And he can say, you know what, if you don't believe me, well, just go to worldgolfers.com and click on the video or click on the list of winners, and you'll see my name and see my face. And I mean, look at the pride on these guys. They're exhaling, and that young man, he actually finished third in one of the categories. And he's like 15 years old. I think he's from Sweden.
Wow, we might have to eliminate him from the competition.
Well, no, actually what that does is it shows you the wonderful thing that this event is. Because it didn't matter how old you were. It didn't matter what sex you were, male or female. It just didn't matter. If you got through your handicap division and your national championship, you came and represented your country.
And really no other sport you can do that. I mean, you just can't, because there's such a difference, and that's what's beautiful about golf. I mean, the handicapping alone evens the playing field. It's a great way to do it, and this is an unbelievable stage to do it.
It is an unbelievable. And look at all those flags back there. You don't think that the people were taking pictures of that to take home? Nothing like it. I've never seen anything like it, except the World Cup maybe, but that's a different element of golf. That fellow's from Nigeria. They all came in costume for the awards ceremony. It was great to watch them. And the captain of the Nigerian team wore an official royal headdress on his head.
Nice.
It was really cool. Yeah, hopefully maybe in the second part of the evening here we'll get to see that.
You've seen a couple of Nigerians win awards, so clearly they had a pretty decent team.
They had a decent team. The history of this event shows that the Far Eastern people, the people from Asia, tend to have the advantage in the handicap structure somehow.
Really?
Yeah, Indonesia won this year. Malaysia has won. Thailand has a great team. It just seems that there's something about the handicapping system that perhaps this could actually open a door to making it a unilateral system.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, I know it's different everywhere you go. At least, through my experiences, when you ask somebody in a different country what their handicap is, a lot of times, it might mean something different than what we think here in the United States.
Well, in America, we take the 10 best of 20. And that's not true everywhere else in the world. We can see that. Maybe it's true in Scotland and England and Ireland and Great Britain, the Isles, but it's not true, obviously, in Malaysia, Indonesia, and those countries. It's not true, it seems, in Hungary and Poland and those countries, because historically, this event, the people from Asia and the people from that part of the world, Hungary and that sort of thing, they're the ones who seem to come in the top 3 in the event.
And there you see a couple ladies getting their awards. Obviously, you mentioned that they didn't get that significant of an advantage. These must be pretty good players.
Yeah, they were wonderful players. All of them had nice little swings, and obviously they're quite proud to be standing up there among the men and saying, yeah, I'm as good as you are, and you know what, I proved it.
Do you think, this is a tournament that's gaining exposure all over the world, but especially here in the United States, they're trying to break through and grab a hold of the golfers. Do you think they're on the verge of doing that, where this is going to be a household name, the World Golfers Championship?
I with the right exposure and the right management, this event should have 50 countries by 2015. There were 31 countries here this time, but not all of them played or fielded an entire team. Some were just part of the invitational to get a taste of it and see what they could do and feel. And if they could go back and organize something in their country. But this is a major concept. It really is. You and I have been in golf events all over the world. We've competed in amateur events, but it's never been where it was a playing field where everything was categorized and you had a chance to compete directly. Now, every day I played with people only in my handicap category, so that I was face to face with what I was competing with, and the same was true of everybody.
And they could have been from any corner of the earth while you were playing.
And they were from every corner of the earth. It was truly remarkable. And what was really fun was the nights that they would dress up in sort of native garb, Like the American team on the awards night, we saw the table earlier, we're the only ones in the shirt and tie and the whole thing. I mean, there were people dressed in the most amazing costumes, which is wonderful.
Yeah, that is. You really get a taste for how these people live in their countries. And besides the trophies, which again look beautiful, is there further rewards for those who finish, other than just the bragging rights to say you just finished on top of your class in the world?
Actually, no. In other words, you won this year, but you have to prove yourself again next year, which is, if I were running, I'd say, well, you won this year, you're automatically in the finals next year in your country. But nope, you got to go back to the qualifying. So there's hardly ever a repeat in most countries.
And it levels the playing field. You get back there, you start, you're up against everybody. You give everybody a chance to get into those finals. Now, you played through several stages. Is that the same for all these countries, where they had regional qualifiers first and then a national qualifier?
Well, there is a video on here where I interview the Indonesian captain, the team that won. And they have an unbelievably rigorous program that weeds everybody out and gets the 5 top players that they can find. And obviously it shows because they win the tournament. And in fact, in 4 years, they finished like second, first, third, first in 4 years. So obviously they're doing a good job of putting a team together. America had a distinct disadvantage because of the handicaps. In fact, I think I was the only one to finish in the top 10 in any division. And that obviously shows that it's not that we're inferior golfers. It's just that we were more handicapped than the other players might have been, and maybe we didn't play as well because we weren't used to the conditions that we were facing there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you before. Were there any Spaniards who took home the titles here because of their knowledge maybe of the local courses? Did anybody from Spain get up there for the hardware?
No, actually no. A couple of them finished high in the top 10, but a guy from Portugal did win a division. So he had the advantage of knowing the area as well.